Hey everyone! Today we are going to talk about why we should stop trying to play God. Have you ever been in a situation in your life where you felt like you had everything under control? Maybe you had a great job, a loving families, and a comfortable home. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something happens that completely changes everything. Maybe you get fired from your job, your spouse leaves you, or your house burns down. When this happens, it can feel like your entire life is crashing down around you and you have no idea what to do next. In times like these, it's easy to start feeling like you're at the mercy of fate or even God Himself. It can feel like everything is happening to you and you have no control over your own life. But the truth is, this is not actually the case. You always have a choice in how you respond to difficult situations, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. The way you choose to respond is up to you, and it will ultimately determine how your story ends. So today, we are going to talk about the importance of accepting things you cannot change and focusing on the things you can change. We will also discuss the importance of trusting in a higher power, even when things seem bleakest. Finally, we will share some tips for letting go of control and embracing the unknown. Stop trying to play God in your life. Why are we so afraid of letting go? One of the hardest things we can ever do is let go of something we fear we might lose. Perhaps we're clinging to a belief that we can control everything in our lives, and that if we let go, we'll be giving up our chance for happiness. But the truth is, there are many things in life we simply cannot control. And by trying to play God and meddle in the affairs of others, we only end up hurting ourselves and those around us. Trying to play God means believing that we are in charge of everything that happens in our lives and that we can control other people and events. For example, maybe you worry constantly about your children and try to protect them from every possible harm. While this may seem like a good thing, after all, who doesn't want to protect their children? It can actually do more harm than good. By hovering over your kids and making every decision for them, you prevent them from growing and learning. They need to experience life for themselves and learn from both their successes and failures. Otherwise, they will never grow into independent, self-sufficient adults. The same goes for other areas of our lives. When we try to control everything, we prevent ourselves from experiencing the full range of human emotion and growth. Trying to play God means living in fear of what might happen rather than enjoying the present moment. It means always looking for signs of trouble rather than appreciating the beauty around us. When we play God, we forget that we are human beings, capable of great love and compassion, but also capable of great pain and suffering. We forget that we are part of something bigger than ourselves and that we are interconnected with all other people. Playing God keeps us from being truly happy. Playing God in our lives prevents us from being truly happy because it prevents us from being free. When we are constantly trying to control everything, we are preventing ourselves from experiencing the full range of human emotions and experiences. We are also preventing ourselves from growing as individuals. We are all capable of achieving great things, but we must first be willing to let go of our need for control and allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Playing God also prevents us from forming meaningful relationships with other people. When we are constantly trying to control everything, we are unable to listen and be present with those around us. We are also unable to trust others and allow them to help us. Meaningful relationships require vulnerability and trust, something we are unable to do when we are playing God. Here are some ways to stop playing God and start living a more fulfilling life. Let go of the need for control. This is easier said than done, but it is possible. The first step to letting go of the need for control is to become aware of when you are doing it. We often don't realize how much we are trying to control everything until we are pointed out. Once you become aware of your tendency to control everything, you can start to let go. This doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It just means trusting that things will work out even if they don't go according to plan. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is essential to living a full and meaningful life. When we are vulnerable, we open ourselves up to the possibility of being hurt, but we also open ourselves up to the possibility of experiencing love and connection with others. To be vulnerable, we must first let go of our need for control. This allows us to be honest about our feelings and needs and to open ourselves up to the possibility of being rejected or abandoned. But it is in this vulnerability that we find true love and connection with others. Trust in a higher power. This could be a religious figure like God or Allah, or it could be something more abstract like the universe or the law of attraction. Whatever you believe in, trust that everything will work out for the best. Sometimes we try to play God because we don't trust that a higher power has our best interests at heart. We may feel like we need to take control of our lives because we don't believe that anyone or anything else can be trusted. But when we trust in a higher power, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to control everything. We know that whatever happens, we are in good hands and that everything will work out for the best. Trusting in a higher power does not mean being passive or doing nothing. It means having faith that things will work out even if we don't understand what is happening. Be creative and make it relevant to today's world. We live in a world where it feels like we have to be in control of everything. We are constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need to have our lives together, that we need to be successful, and that we need to look a certain way. This pressure to conform can be overwhelming, and it can lead us to try to play God and control everything in our lives. But the truth is we can't control everything, and by trying to do so, we only end up hurting ourselves and those around us. The good news is that we don't have to be at the mercy of our circumstances. We can choose to let go of our need for control and trust that things will work out. When we do this, we free ourselves from the pressure to conform, and we open ourselves up to the possibility of a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Let's imagine, for instance, that you're planning a wedding. You've always dreamed of having a perfect wedding day, but no matter what you do, things just don't seem to be falling into place. The venue you wanted is booked, your favorite vendors are unavailable, and your dream dress is way out of your budget. In this situation, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and to start playing God and trying to control everything. Maybe you start cutting costs in areas that are important to you, like the food or the entertainment, or maybe you try to micromanage your vendors to make sure everything is perfect. But in the end, all of this controlling only causes more stress and anxiety. Instead, imagine if you took a step back and trusted that everything would work out. Imagine if you focused on the things you could control, like choosing a venue that was within your budget or finding vendors who were available on your date. By letting go of the need to control everything, you would free yourself from the stress and anxiety of trying to plan the perfect wedding, and you would be able to enjoy the process and celebrate this special time in your life. Another scenario could be that you're trying to conceive a baby. You and your partner have been trying for months, but without any success. In this situation, it's easy to start playing God and taking control. Maybe you start tracking your ovulation dates meticulously, or you start undergoing fertility treatments. While these things may work in the short term, they can cause more harm than good in the long term. Instead, imagine if you took a step back and trusted that everything would work out. Imagine if you focused on the things you could control, like eating healthy and exercising, and let go of the need to control the outcome. By doing this, you would reduce your stress and anxiety levels, and you would be able to conceive a baby when the time is right for you. These are just two scenarios, but they illustrate how trying to control everything in our lives can cause more harm than good. Instead, we must learn to let go of the need to control everything and trust that everything will work out. When we do this, we free ourselves from the stress and anxiety of trying to play God, and we open ourselves up to the possibility of a more fulfilling and meaningful life. In conclusion, trying to control everything in our lives is a futile and harmful endeavor. We must learn to let go of the need to control everything and trust that everything will work out. This doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It just means trusting that things will work out even if they don't go according to plan. By letting go of the need to control everything, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to play God, and we open ourselves up to the possibility of a more fulfilling and meaningful life. We hope that you enjoyed this video and that it has given you some insight into the dangers of trying to control everything in your life. If you have any thoughts or experiences you'd like to share, please comment below. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, remember to let go of the need to control everything and trust that everything will work out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.